Hi there. It's the beginning of 2019 and I decided that my personal rig needs an upgrade. So in this video we will be upgrading the GPU and the storage. So let's get to it. I'm going to go in depth about the GPU and hard drive when I actually put them in. I don't really like how that stays right there. But first, probably my older subscribers already know it's never easy to upgrade my computer because it's a really tiny case with a lot of stuff packed in it, and I'm going to say once again I needed exactly this size of case because this is the height of the space that I had available for it. If you can see, I've even changed its feet, so they are really tiny, so this thing fits where I need to put it. Yes, I tried to search for more expensive cases. None of them were small enough to fit. So let's start to unplug some things around here. I think that was all that was required, and now I need to hold this panel in position, so I'm going to use this sticky fit so it stays where I want it. And as for the storage, as you can see, I have two big hard drives right down here. But I don't really like that they are really close together. I would like to leave at least one free space between the hard drives. So I might attempt to move one of them a little bit higher. I've got no clue if this case allows that, although I have some holes here. Yeah, we'll give it a try. So yeah. I think I'm going to turn on the light and take the camera in my hand because otherwise you will see absolutely nothing. So this is the situation inside my case. Probably you cannot even see it too well, it's that crammed in there. And I need to replace, this is a 4 TB hard drive and this is a 6 TB one. So the 4 TB one I'm replacing with this Seagate IronWolf recertified 8 TB drive, but no, I could try and put it in these two holes and it would stay something like this with a tiny bit outside the case in this plastic area, so no problem. But if you can see here, let me just unplug this one. Obviously my connectors will not reach. So yeah, this thing is made at the limit. Everything is at the limit inside this case. So yeah, I'm going to take that one out and put this one in. But firstly I need to move everything from this one to this one. So this one goes out first. I copy the data and then I do the swap, and yeah, I know it's a bit complicated, but I don't have, or actually do I have any other way? I could unplug this hard drive for a while. That would be a possibility. Yeah, I will think about it and you will see it next. Let's start working. So the story behind this thing, because I didn't buy it new, I bought it from somebody. He had a Seagate hard drive that failed and he sent it to Seagate for warranty, and they actually sent him back a completely different hard drive, which is this one, but until it arrived he actually bought another hard drive. So luckily he didn't have anything to do with this one, so he sold it. Let me just show you. Recertified product. 8 terabytes IronWolf. From what I understand, these are the server drives that are actually able to work in close proximity one to the other. So the fact that I'm putting it a bit close to the Western Digital 6 terabytes one shouldn't really matter. And yeah, recertified hard drives means that basically this could be remade hard drive. Maybe it has the board from a different one, the mechanical part from a different one, or it was only sent by somebody for a warranty and had a minor, I don't know, firmware problem or something like that that could be solved. They retested it and sold or actually gave it to, back to the guy that I bought it from as a recertified hard drive. So yeah, this is usable from my point of view. It's a new hard drive and should be really good. So what I'm planning to do now, remove in high speed the 4 terabyte one, put this one, the 8 terabyte, in its place, let it run for, I don't know, 1 or 2 days, just copying some random stuff to it and see if everything is okay. And if I don't see any problems, I will connect back the 4 terabyte one via these cables from my laptop size hard drive. I will disconnect this one, connect it to the 4 terabyte, and then do the copy with the hard drive just hanging in there for dear life. But the good one will be in the correct final position from the start. So yeah, let me start. Actually, I will do this in high speed because it will take a while. I will disconnect stuff, move the hard drives, whatnot. Yikes. So the fact that those two hard drives were so close to one another, and the fact that this case doesn't have any filters on it, led to some dust buildup. In the rest of the case there is dust. I'm not saying that it's a clean case, it's not, obviously, but there isn't as much as it was on this drive, and obviously now that I have it open I will clean it, and I should have cleaned it sooner, I do know that. So the new one 8 terabytes, the old one 4 terabytes, and this is actually a good drive. I've done a lot of work with it and I'm sad to see it go, but yeah, I think, what should I have now? 14. So this is the new one, is 8 terabytes plus 6, we have 14 terabytes. This laptop hard drive is 1 terabyte, so 15 terabytes, and the 240 gig SSD in the back. So I think I have enough storage for the moment, don't you? Quite an annoying thing. Look at the number of screws on the side of this hard drive compared to the old one. Yeah, Seagate decided they are not going to have 6 screws for the hard drive all around. They only have 4. Yeah, not considering the ones on the bottom, obviously, on the sides. So older cases obviously are not able to deal with this type of screws because they had a really short distance between them. So this particular hard drive will not be held in place with 4 screws like it was before, but only with 2. So yeah, thank you Seagate. That's just crap, but yeah, whatever. Everything is connected, and yeah, the hard drive seems to be staying in place quite nicely even with 2 screws. Not happy about the situation, but doesn't really hurt too much either, so yeah, whatever. And if you want to see this one cleaned up, this is it. This is it, sorry. So looking way better. So now let's get to the GPU. I have a GT440 in it now. So this kind of I don't know, was bought after I sold my GTX 660 Ti when the prices were at the highest level because of all the mining, and I tried to use AMD card, Radeon, but had some issues with creating YouTube videos. Something wasn't quite right, so I got this one. I think, I don't know, maximum $20, but I think it was $15 or $10, something like that. So I just had it in to have a card to do my videos on. Obviously absolutely no gaming on it. So yeah, that's the story of that particular card, and we will be replacing it with ta-da, a GTX 1070 Founders Edition. And you might be wondering, why the hell would somebody buy the Founders Edition? Well, one extremely important reason: this case is really crowded, and in a tiny case you need a GPU that doesn't put even more heat inside the case. It takes all the heat out. As you can see, for example, this is set up in a way that all the heat goes through it and to the outside of the case. This one puts a bit of fresh air in the GPU area that this will take and put outside of the case. This fan also puts some fresh air inside this memory and CPU area, and the GPU also takes that PSU also takes that air from the lower part and expels it. So yeah, in theory, everything that produces heat inside this case also takes out that heat directly, apart from the hard drives, which do produce heat, but they don't have fans to take it out themselves. And this case doesn't really have the possibility to put a fan in front, so yeah, or in the top part of it, whatever. So, obviously not even in the bottom. There is not enough room for anything like that. So yeah, I sold my about, I think, a bit more than half a year ago, probably somewhere like 8 months ago, I sold my 660 Ti for $100. Bought this thing again for $10–15, probably something like that, probably 10. I'm thinking 10. I don't think I would have paid more for a GPU like this. So yeah, $90 remain, and bought this now for $200, which for me is a really good deal. And this thing is quite powerful for I don't know what I play, Witcher 3 from time to time. This thing will handle it at max on everything in 1080p, no worries. And this I will use in other builds, so my $10 or 15 or whatnot are not lost. They are used in another build, so I'm all okay for that. Yes, I should and I will give this just a quick clean, but outside of the video. As you can see, there is a bit of dust in here. And then let's put this in. Cleaned up the card. Yes, it can be cleaned way better than this, but I don't know, I apply my logic from laptops also to stuff like this. Before I know that everything is working perfectly, I don't like to make too many changes. For example, on this GPU, I bought it second hand. I want to see it run in my system for a while without problems. I've cleaned it to the absolute minimum, so it will run without overheating and without problems because of the dirt. If everything is okay, I don't see any problems, I will open up my computer once again and take this thing apart and clean it really well. But I don't like to change too many variables from the start. If I open it up and then something doesn't work, can I call the person that sold it to me and tell him, you know, the GPU is not working right, but I did open it up completely and changed the thermal paste and tried to clean it and whatnot. He will say that I did something to it. So first testing, see if everything is okay, and only then complete and really good clean. So let's change the GPUs in high speed. So the 1070 is in, and yeah, it stays quite nicely in place. As you can see, it's connected. It only has one 8-pin power connector, and I did connect it on the shortest possible connector on my cable, because I don't have two separate cables for 8 pins. I have one cable with a set of plugs and then another set of plugs. So I used the first one because I want my cables to the GPU to be as short as possible. So I minimize voltage drop. Yeah, it's not quite perfect in there. Things are crammed as anything in this particular case, but it does have enough room to breathe. Somewhere around here we have the fan, exactly here. This is the middle of it. So it has enough room to take some air, and it will actually take some air from the hard drive area, so that is ideal, not for the GPU but for the hard drives. And yeah, I will give this thing a quick test. If you are wondering what this is the BIOS reset button. When I was overclocking the 3820 i7 in this thing, yeah, I tried all sort of settings, and sometimes it would freeze and I need to reset it, and the button on the motherboard is really hard to reach, so I've added a button. And just today I realized this particular motherboard also has a BIOS reset switch on the back IO shield. So yeah, anyway, nothing that I can do now. And yeah, that's about it for this thing. It has 16 gigs of memory, a 650 watts Chieftec PSU. Yeah, Chieftec, not the best of brands, but I had a 350 watts one that I modified and used it to run my GTX 660 Ti on it. So if the 350 watts one was able to run that consumes a bit more power than this 1070, I think 650 watts will run the 1070 without issues. So yeah, that's about that. Let's try and close everything back together, give it a bit of a clean at least for these few days of testing. And the final clean will be done after I see that everything is working okay, of course. Yeah, hopefully no problems. And must not press that button, but I always feel the need to press it, I don't know why. Must not do it. And yeah, this little GPU, I have a video where I cleaned it a little bit. Yeah, it did the trick for a few months without issues, but it was kind of slow for video decoding and encoding, and hopefully this will help a lot with my YouTube videos. So let's close everything back together. Everything is back together, cleaned up, just enough so it doesn't cause any problems. And yeah, what can I say? Wish me luck, because I have a second-hand GPU bought from somebody that I don't even know through an intermediate, because it was in a city that I don't live in, and he didn't want post it, so somebody else bought it from me. And $200 GPU second hand, and a $150 8 terabyte hard drive that is refurbished, bought from somebody again that I don't really know, again through the same intermediate person. So yeah, $350 without warranty. What could go wrong? And lots of dust all around from me cleaning this thing in a closed environment, which is just dumb, but it's really cold outside and I live in an apartment building, so holding a case outside of the window and cleaning it, not a good idea with such hardware inside. So wish me luck. Next you will see if I won or lost on this particular bet. Everything plugged in. Let's have some drum roll. Pressed the power button. Yes, it was completely shut off, so this motherboard starts up a bit slow from a full powerless shut off. Any image? Some image? Anything? Yay, we have image. There is image. Come on. Some more, some, yep. So the first step, it seems that the GPU is at least powering on and giving image, but now we will see if in tests does anything that it shouldn't do, like any artifacts, errors, forced shutdowns, who knows. And it's a few days later and I'm copying from the 4 terabyte to the 8 terabyte hard drive, but I think this one is failing. I've seen over the past few months a few errors. A video refused to play, so I needed to delete it. A few pictures didn't open quite right, but I didn't think it was something I don't know, really bad happening to this drive. But I don't know, what I'm seeing now I don't like at all. So let me just show you what's happening. We have 100% activity, but no data transfer. Let me try and zoom on this screen. And actually no, let me show you something else first. I'm taking this drive. I thought it's the connections, so as you can see I'm even connected to an external power supply. Because if I move it like this, I shake it. That's all that I'm doing to it. I'm shaking it, but let me show you the screen while I'm shaking this thing. Yeah, I know it's really amateurish. I'm filming the screen with one hand, I will shake the hard drive with the other hand, so whatever. Or actually, yeah, it's doing it. Are you seeing that peaks in transfer? Nothing was transferring before I started to shake this thing. Now I'm shaking it and it's starting to work. And maybe you can hear it in the background. This is all that I'm doing to the hard drive. And again, they are not the connections. I even took a look at the electrical board of the hard drive and nothing seems wrong with it. So I don't know, this has a motion sensor or something. It's mechanically stuck inside this hard drive now. It's extremely weird. So it's basically only working if I shake it. And weirdly enough, it seems to be running now. I've got no clue. This is the position that it's in now. I don't know. Is this really sensitive to vibrations, or something happened inside of it that made it this sensitive, or the I don't think it has a vibration sensor in it. I know for a fact that Seagate 8 gigs has a vibration sensor. I do not think the 4 gig Western Digital has one. And again, not the connectors, not the PCB by pushing on it, doing whatever, doesn't help at all. As you can see here, it is copying at the moment. It had a moment when it stopped, and I think, yeah, it's really slow. So let me try and simply wiggle it around and see if it comes back to life. And it's copying once again, and I just played around with it, shaking it and whatnot. Do not shake hard drive that is copying data. Do not shake a hard drive that it's even powered on. But in my case, this is what gets it going again. So I wasn't moving and shaking it enough with one hand, so I've got no clue. Yeah, I'm going to stop this and get all my data from the backups. And I think I'm going to contact Western Digital and see if they have any idea if they ever encountered this. But yeah, probably they they won't give me too many answers on this. They will just ask if I'm out of warranty and then say bye, because that's what the big companies always do. But yeah, luckily I'm backed up. This thing seems to be copying, so if I wiggle it, even if I wouldn't have my backups, I would still get my data out of it. But this is the weirdest hard drive issue that I have seen in, I don't know, over 20 years of working on various computers. So yeah, really weird. Managed to copy all that I needed from this thing. Again, already had everything backed up, but even if I wouldn't have those backups, this still hold on to the very end. And look how nice that GeForce GTX is right there. But again, I do not have a window in my case, so it doesn't really matter. And yeah, this 4 TB video, I will try to do a full format and use it in another one of my builds. See if I can do anything about it. Something is really fishy with it. But yeah, the new hard drive, the 8 TB working perfectly, the 1070 working perfectly. I just need to connect everything back up, and I'm just going to show you a little bit of testing in Windows and everything that looks okay there. Just wanted to show you, this is the 4 TB hard drive. It has a caution here in crystal disk info, and it's a problem with current pending sector count. These are unreliable sectors that have not been reallocated yet. If it would have reallocated them and then it would have problems, the error would be here, or in uncorrectable sector count. So the hard drive is not dealing properly with unreliable sectors. Why this is happening, I do not know. They should be dealt with by the software or the firmware of the hard drive. So I'm going to try and see if there is an updated version of the firmware, maybe give this thing a full format and see if that solves the problem. It is also BitLocker encrypted at the moment, so I will decrypt it and format it then, and hopefully something changes for the best here. I don't know. Yeah, it's really weird. And this is the good hard drive. Yeah, it's a bit hot, but not extremely hot. The maximum it can take it's 70 degrees Celsius. Yeah, that's a lot. It will never get to that. A tiny bit hotter than I would like, but yeah, it's a cramped case. It is what it is. Playing around with the PC, you can see I've increased the power on count a lot. 25 hours of power on time and absolutely no problems, obviously. So yeah, a good hard drive and quite fast, 7200 RPM. And next, the GPU. I can say it's not as noisy as I would have expected. A lot of people say blower style cards are really noisy. I must say, in a really cramped and small case like mine, a blower style card, it's less noisy than a standard dual or triple fan card. Because a standard card would output all of the heat inside of the case and heat everything up, even heating up itself, and that would just cascade into a snowball effect and be really bad. This thing, quite quiet. I didn't expect this. My CPU cooler, when it ramps up to the maximum, is a bit noisier than this GPU. But when they are idling or only going 30-40%, like it is now, I don't hear them. So that is perfect. Let's give it just a really quick run here. And weirdly enough, it's boosting quite well. So it's boosting more than I actually expected it to boost. Unigine Heaven, I don't know, it always tells the graphic frequency wrong. It tells me here 1911. So the GPU is not going that fast. Let me just go here. Maximum, you can see here, 1848 MHz. So 1848 MHz, which is decent, I might say. It's about 54, it was maximum 61 degrees. Yes, it will rise a little bit more, probably a lot more, but in my case it is open at the moment. So yeah, I must say I'm pretty happy with this little card. Absolutely no problems with it. It is second hand. I was a bit afraid. Nah, it's all good, man. It's all good. So this time I was lucky. The GPU is good, the hard drive is good. So yeah, everything is perfect for this upgrade. And tomorrow I will post the video for everybody, and a happy new year to you all, and hope that all goes well for everybody in the new year, and you are really happy and have good health, because that is the most important thing of all. So see you guys in the next year with more videos, and as always, ask whatever you want in the comments, say whatever you feel like in the comments, and we will have a chat as always. So bye guys, happy new year.